Trying to make someone do something and making them believe in your own perspective is oftentimes a tiresome thing to do, especially if they are close-minded or they never run out of excuses. Convincing them is oftentimes the hardest thing to do, but at some point in your life, you may have resorted to use reverse psychology on them. It may or may not have worked, but it actually depends on how good you were at pulling it off. However, if you really want to be good at convincing, it takes not just practice, but also by learning the science behind it. Today, you will be learning the art of persuasion. To use reverse psychology effectively, one must be able to master the three concepts of influence, namely reactance, rebound, and curiosity. So first, we will be discussing the first concept of influence, reactance. Reactance in reverse psychology is a strategy used to play on the least awareness of a person that their freedom is being taken away from them, and thus convincing them to do the opposite of what they have requested. Reactance theory by Breham states that one would increase its favorability of something if they perceive their freedom is being threatened or lost. The higher the intensity of the threat, the more effort it would take for the person to try to restore the freedom. In simpler terms, reactance theory can be explained by the forbidden fruit. As Mark Twain once wrote, Adam was but human. He did not want the apple for the apple's sake. He wanted it only because it was forbidden. Here is an example. Me and my mom are having an argument and she said, "Okay, you can dance all the time you want, but I will not enroll you next term in school. Instead, I will enroll you in a dance school. That's what you want, right?" For me, it was a silly argument, but it was effective. I was trying to be repressed of my freedom to study, and so it's reverse psychology. The next strategy is the rebound. Rebound in reverse psychology is used by letting them end up in suppression of their emotions and thoughts, and thereby convincing them to do the opposite of what they have requested. So for the next minute, try to empty your mind and pose yourself for this task. Do not think of a polar bear. And so, just close your eyes. Open your eyes. Let me see. All of you actually thought of a polar bear. You see, what you're trying to suppress the idea that there's a polar bear in the back of your mind. And so you close your eyes, but still, the idea or the image of the polar bear still lingers in your mind. There is an irony in thought suppression. Our conscious mind is trying to distract ourselves, while the unconscious mind tries to process what we are trying to suppress. This thought experiment was first conducted by Professor Daniel Wegner. They have concluded that the very act of trying to suppress a thought made it fight back a lot stronger. And so, the next time you try to suppress a thought, think twice. In another study, they have concluded that emotional content of a thought made it harder to be suppressed than normal thought suppression. An example would be like a no laughing staring game. It's so easy not to laugh, but if it's a suppressed emotion, then we end up laughing in the end. And so, let us be careful next time when our emotions are put into test. The third concept is curiosity. Curiosity is a drive that is within us. This drive theory is what is making us engage in crossword puzzles or trying to learn a musical instrument. This theory states that When one looks at the world in an orderly way, and that orderliness is violated or challenged, then one becomes curious. In reverse psychology, this strategy plays an important role in making one pick the choice that would challenge the order of the world and thus make one act like a hero to restore the order. These are just the three key strategies that I have come up with in mastering the art of persuading people through the reverse psychology. So I'm hoping that next time you try to convince someone, you will just forget everything that I've just said, and all of this will just be useless. And then when you end up breaking up with your boyfriend or your girlfriend, then you'll forget about this concept. And it's going to be harder for you to try to get them back. And so, again, I'm just kidding. This is reverse psychology.